What is going on, everybody? This is TGA. We're in Beachley once again. Sorry guys, don't know what happened there. Camera literally switched itself off. This is why I got a body camera now, in case the battery dies, camera goes off or something happens to the camera. I've got a body camera for backup recording. This is in the winter time. Thought I'd come back Good Friday. Thought I'd come back to the base. You know, with the army, British Army, it's Good Friday agreement. So thought it'd be quite an interesting thing to do, to come back to Beachley for a day visit. And that cannon I saw last time, but you can see a lot more clearly in the day. That cannon's cool. Yeah, back at Beachley. As we're back, just coming up to the main gate for Beachley Barracks, the rifles. So here we go. This is a smoke-free site. 1st Battalion, the Rifles. It's alright, I'm not getting anyone's registrations, mate, I'm just having a look. So, all contractors carrying out works in confined space designated area shall obtain, prior to any works commencing, a valid permit to work from the Work Services Manager.
You alright, mate?
Yeah, you good, mate?
Yeah, not bad, you?
Yeah, having a lovely day, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not a bad day, is it?
It's alright. Yeah, it's alright, mate, I'm in a public place. Yeah, you can record anything from public. Just
How come you doing it? Just a random question.
Just matters of public interest. Making a little video. Sorry? No, some of them used to be, but you know, people like to see things like this online, so I'm trying to avoid recording people's registrations and things like that. I'm just getting the base and things like that. Wales. So yeah. Gwent. Yeah, so around this region. Yeah.
Do you often, do you?
Well, I'm around this area. I'm not, so I come down.
Fair one, mate.
Shame the pub's closed down here now, though. Pub? Yeah, the pub, the old ferry. I know, it's a shame though. It was a nice little place, that. Even the views going over the Severn, looking up at the Severn Bridge and over there as well. So it's a good spot. And then you got the Coast Guard down here as well. It's quite a fair bit going on, so it's quite interesting. Yeah, no worries, mate. You have a good day, yeah? Take care, mate. I'll be alright, mate. I'll stay on the public land. It's all good. Would be nice to get a tour of the base, but I don't think I'm going to get that, am I?
I don't think so, mate.
That's alright.
Not much exciting here anyway, though.
No? Seems to be a fair bit, though. You got the training college, Army training college and everything?
Yeah, it's not much, mate.
No.
Just get cadets coming through here, I mean, look at him.
Oh, fair dues, fair dues. You alright, mate?
Hello, mate.
Yeah, all good. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Good.
Yeah.
I'll keep an eye out for things. So there's the camp there, as you can see. There's a little map and a memorial over there, look. I'm not sure what that is, that sort of tower thing there. That's quite interesting. As you can see, got that tower there. Sort of sign and a memorial there, look. Some sort of memorial anyway. It's the Rifles Division. So we're going to move the camera away a sec because I'm going to get people's registration. I want to get people's registrations in there. So it's got Ministry Defence. A few people turning into the camp. Alright, mate.
Hi, what are you doing?
No, you're just recording, mate.
Okay, you just know that this is obviously from the sign, which is about 200 metres down here. This is a sensitive area, and anything that is being filmed can obviously be. You're not really supposed to be filming on this property.
So I'm not on Ministry of Defence property though.
Well, from the sign down there, you are on Ministry of Defence property. If you look at the sign 200 metres down the road, green sign, if I'm quite right, you'll see that you're passing onto it.
Because the fence line's on this side, there's a wall there, so it says Ministry of Defence from there, so...
Okay, yeah, I don't know if you missed the sign, but the sign says down there that obviously anything from here, along this road, further down, is actually...
Well, surely all the way the Coast Guard and everything isn't on mod land.
That obviously clears past it because there is civilian property down there, obviously the RNLI and that. But anything between the green sign there and the green sign, which if you go down and round to the corner, is actually within the area.
It's for the public to walk through here, so is there any bylaws to say that I can't do what I'm doing?
It is, but obviously I'm going to have to report this now, of you filming this obviously sensitive area.
Who are you going to report it to then?
Well, my chain of command, because I don't know who you are, I don't know what sort you're posing a threat at the moment to the security.
I wouldn't say I'm posing a threat.
Well, it's just procedural, I'm sorry.
That's okay, I mean, you're just doing your job, that's all.
Yeah, so obviously you've been filmed now, so anything...
Yeah, I'm not bothered.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Cool. So, well, you can stay here, but the more you're going to raise more suspicion, and I'm going to have to call authorities to come and actually sort this.
What, MDP or?
Probably the civilian authorities.
Oh, Gwent. No, it's not Gwent. It's Gloucestershire, isn't it?
It works, but it works both ways. I think the Chepstow Police actually.
Gwent Police patrol this area, do
Yeah. Well, and the Ministry of Defence Police.
I've recorded their station anyway.
No, that's fine.
So,
it's just because this is a military area.
Yeah.
This can be seen as a threat.
I'm not intending to pose any threat. I'm just recording for the interest of the public. So.
Okay, that's fine. Well,
okay.
As I said, there's going to be a procedure of which someone might come and ask you to be moved on. I'm just making you aware of that now before it actually happens.
I'm just saying, if this is public land, then I can't really be moved on from.
It is public land, but you're obviously using your imagery equipment to film stuff which is of an importance.
What am I filming that could be posing a threat then?
Well, the fact of you're obviously filming the main entry point to an army barracks, of which could be used, is valuable information to people who want to obviously cause an issue to that.
I wouldn't really say that. I mean, the only attacks
I don't know what your background is.
If you're trying to get to sort of terrorism, that sort of thing, then the only bases that have ever been attacked in this country have been in Northern Ireland during the Troubles. So that's...
Yes, but it doesn't stop people wanting to gain this sort of information and do this.
So if you're just recording for it, as I told you, in the interest of the public, it's not really causing any risk to anyone.
Well, I'm going to leave it at that, and obviously if...
Are you an Army Sergeant as well?
I don't need to disclose that sort of information to you.
Sergeant, isn't it? So.
Well, if you think that's what it is, then that's fine.
Yeah, I'm not sure what your procedure is really, so members of the public.
That's the thing, but I'm just making you aware that obviously what you're doing, you can't really be doing it, and if the police come and ask you to move on, then that's due to you doing what you're doing now.
I mean, there's a whole movement which is PINAC, which is photography is not a crime. So people record sites that are paid for by the taxpayer, by us members of the public. So the Ministry of Defence is paid for by the taxpayer, police stations, anywhere there's government buildings, anything that's paid for by the taxpayer, we'll go and record those buildings to exercise our rights to film in a public place.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine, but as I said, this is obviously a sensitive area of which, as you see on the signs, using equipment like that is obviously going to pose a threat, and you actually warned before you come into this area, so you walked past that sign and ignored it. But I'm going to leave it at that, and I'll
all right.
See you later.
Yeah, see you later. If you're only doing your job, aren't you? I'm not trying to criticise anything or scrutinise anything at all. Oh, it's alright, I'm not recording you. So I was pointed this way, I'm not trying to record you're just a member of the public, aren't you? Only record people I pay for. I'll leave you to it. Yeah, I'm not recording you, it's fine. So as you can see, guys, there's an army club down there, social club, and it looks like a rugby field. Look at that, social club. Shame it's not open to the public. Oh, is there an army vehicle coming down here? An army vehicle? Oh, it's not an army vehicle. So that's mod. You know, it's part of the camp over there as well. Just thinking where we can go, because it's... You didn't say there was any bylaws though. If there's no bylaws, they can't really prevent you, to be honest, from taking photos. If there's no bylaws to say that you can't. Some places have got bylaws. Porton Down's got bylaws, and it's a SOCAP site, so obviously they can, at Porton Down, they can prevent you. They can even fine you for taking photos. Obviously you want professionalism, and I don't trust the chaps, don't you, the police. So they, from my encounter with them, they seemed like quite corrupt people from Chepstow Police Station, especially that one officer, the one with the taser. Him. You alright, fellas? How are you? You okay?
Mate, you need to stop recording camp, right?
Why?
Because it's
criminal
private
offence.
property.
It's not a criminal offence from public.
It is. You're not in public. It's a criminal offence to record into a military barracks.
It's not to record from public.
It is, mate.
It is.
Can I show you something? It's been sent around the country by the National Police Chiefs Council.
What interest have you got in the camp anyway? Why would you film into it?
Basically, the Ministry of Defence is paid for by the taxpayer. So what we do, there's a group of people which is part of a movement called PINAC, which is Photography is Not a Crime. And what we do is we record buildings that are paid for by members of the public, and then we'll go and post them onto YouTube.
For what reason, though?
Just to show our right to express our right to film in public.
Express your right to what?
To film in public, which is freedom of the press and the freedom of expression, Human Rights Act.
You can film in public, but you can't film into a military establishment. It's a
You
criminal.
you can if you stood in public. You can film anything you can see from public space. I know some mod sites are covered by certain bylaws, but those bylaws would only apply on mod
This isn't
property as well.
public. This is MOD land.
Is there any bylaws?
If you go to the junction there, read that red sign. It says it's you're on MOD land. You're not.
For that going down that road down there.
Huh?
Those signs are on that road going
Signs
down
at the
there.
junction there, where those blue signs are, saying it's MOD land.
Right, let me have a look then. But is there some mod sites have got bylaws, I understand that, but I'm not aware of any bylaws for this site, and when there is bylaws there tends to be a sign to say that there's
No specific
there's
laws
bylaws.
for an individual site. It's a generic set of rules for every MOD establishment.
That's what I mean. That's what a lot of sites, they list what bylaws they have for that specific site. And I've looked up to see if there's any bylaws for Beachley, and there's none available.
It's because you know that, like, you're not just filming a house, you're specifically filming into an MOD site because you're saying you're exercising your rights
To film,
for like the sake of freedom or something.
yeah.
But that indicates to me that you know that's not right, otherwise you'd just film a tree. The fact that you're specifically filming into a camp, you know it's a grey
It
area.
is an interesting place though.
There's not a lot going on in there, mate, trust me, I work in there.
Well, what's the problem then?
Well, it's just the point, we don't know who you are, and like at the end of the day, security there's a lot of sensitive stuff going on in the camp. It's a military establishment, that's why it's guarded by security cameras, fences and people with weapons on the gate.
If it's secure, then what you got to worry about?
It's secure in the sense that you're getting in, but you know, like I say, you know, anyone could come, you could jump off the bridge into camp.
Yeah, well, yeah, I suppose, but
And you look a bit shifty, mate, walking around, it's like 20 degrees, you're all dressed up, masked up. So
yes,
we don't know who you are. So
I'm creating privacy.
we're just adhering to our orders of security to challenge people who are
that's fine.
posing
I'm
a
not
threat
stopping
within
you
the
from
area.
doing that, but I don't think I'm
Let's go
posing
read
a
the
threat.
sign then.
Because
So you see the sign there that says MOD property?
yeah, but that's on that junction there, leading down to
Yeah,
that,
but you were filming
that
from
road.
that side of the fence because my colleague is the duty sergeant, saw you.
Yeah, if I'm stood here, I can film over there.
No, MOD property says keep out. You shouldn't even
There's a
exploit
sign
that
just
line.
before the main gate as well that says MOD property.
Yeah, I didn't go past the main gate.
Yeah, you did.
You
You
passed
just
the main
walked
gate
past
now.
the main gate where you
So
engage
anything
with
this
people
side of that
there.
gate-
I didn't go that side of the gate.
Yeah,
I
but
stayed
you
in the
walked
public.
past it.
How
That's
did you
what I'm
get here
saying.
then?
What do you mean?
Right to left, you walked past the gate,
I
didn't
could
you?
have parachuted in.
How did
So,
you get
you
to
know.
where you are now? Where did you walk from?
From the gate up there, I was just speaking
Yeah,
to.
so you passed the gate. That's what he's saying. So
What do you mean? I didn't go in past the fence.
No, we're not
I
saying you
haven't
went in, mate.
I haven't jumped any barriers. I haven't
No, we're
passed
not
any
No,
saying
no,
fences
it's
or
a
anything
public
like that.
road,
We
but
just
then
walked
you
past.
got the gate, and anything this side of the gate, which we are now, is, as you can see, MOD property, as the sign suggests.
Yeah, there's a sign there which implies beyond that
And you've
sign
been
is.
down that road as well.
I haven't been down that road.
He's not been down there yet.
I've not been down there.
Okay,
But
apologies.
next to gate,
That's okay.
there's a sign as well.
At the end of the day, mate, if like we have to challenge you out, if you're not a threat and it's generally photography reasons, it's not a massive issue. But we just need to make you aware it is actually a criminal offence in an act.
It's not a criminal
It
offence.
is, I know for a fact.
Which legislation is that?
We'll Google it.
There's no legislation that says you're not allowed to. I have
Taking
googled it. Mate.
photos of military establishments
That's
or
not.
videos is
It's not a criminal offence. I've looked it up.
It is.
I wouldn't come down if I hadn't educated myself on the legislation on it, and there's no law that says that I'm not allowed to do it. Some places have got specific bylaws.
The official thing up there.
Some sites have got specific bylaws which say you're not allowed to do it if you're on Ministry of Defence property, which I'm not. If you're stood in a public place, then you can film anything your eyes can see. But if you're on Ministry of Defence property, some sites have got bylaws which prohibit you from doing that,
So you're
which you
saying
can
you
get
could
fined.
go up and film through someone's window into their front room?
Well, technically you could, but well, you
But
shouldn't film
wouldn't-
someone's house.
Do you not think you get in trouble with the police for doing that?
Well, not really. It depends.
Well, it is because it's.
If you're breaking and entering, that's a different matter. Yeah, but if you're just filming, you're not breaking any laws. The only place where you can't film is where somebody would reasonably expect privacy. Say if you were somebody
Taking
was.
photographs of military installations, aircraft ships. Blah, blah, blah.
If somebody sat in the toilet or something like that, you start recording them through the toilet window or something. That is where they reasonably expect privacy. So that is when it comes under privacy laws.
But
Under Article 10 of the Human Rights Act.
An MOD camp's no different to public filming, because why are you specifically filming an MOD camp?
I film all sorts of places. I film police stations. I film government buildings, like Welsh government, English government. I'll go and film all sorts of different places. I'm not specifically focused on here. I filmed all sorts of places.
Why are you wearing a mask?
I'm creating privacy. That's what I'm doing.
For what?
That's what we do. Is we create privacy for ourselves. That's what we do on our. We're doing it for YouTube, really. So it's.
That's why it looks a bit.
Well, I can understand that.
But you're in public. You just said there's no privacy in public.
Yeah, but you can create your own privacy. That's my point. If you want privacy, you create
From
it.
who, though?
I just prefer to keep myself anonymous. That's what we do. We prefer to be anonymous. Sometimes.
This is where alarm bells ring. Like if you're just like, my name's Dave. I live down there. I like the army. I like the buildings. That would be plausible. But
I know
the fact that you're all
sometimes you've got
anonymous
people
about it-
asking you, like especially with police, they'll be like, "Oh, what's your name? What's your address?"
we're
That
not
sort
police.
of thing.
We're not.
No, but
We've
you know
not got
what I
a right
mean.
to question your personal things, but we've got a right to question your acts because it's part of our establishment. And right now we're on MOD land.
Where does it say this is MOD land?
That's fine there, but
Yeah, that's beyond there.
all these houses belong to the MOD.
Yeah, you can see where the signs are. It says MOD property, where the junctions are. That shows that beyond those signs, that's where the Ministry of Defence land is. You see that with law mod sites. You see sometimes they have joint ownership of the road, so sometimes there's partially a private street manager, which would be the Ministry of Defence. Say there's Porton Down, part of the main road there is owned by the Ministry of Defence, but there's a gate on there which shows this is a Crown Road with as that point where the Road Traffic Act applies, but that section of road is owned by the Ministry of Defence. That happens with some sites. But in this case, the Ministry of Defence, where the Ministry of Defence land starts, is clearly signposted. And that's what I'm saying, I'm in a public place. You get loads of people coming through here, members of the public.
Even if what you're saying is like true, but we still have to challenge people filming inside camp and see what their interests are.
Yeah, I'm not.
That's our policy.
I'm not stopping
We've
you from
got our own
challenging me.
guidelines and policies and orders that we have to adhere
Yeah, and
to.
I'm welcoming that.
So we have to challenge you and see what your interest and intent is.
Yeah, I'm welcoming any interaction.
That's for security reasons.
Yeah, of course, I'm welcoming your interaction. Have I not spoke to you?
Yeah, no, but
So-
like I still don't really understand what your intent is.
I have told you.
Yeah, but it seems like you're trying to sort of exploit your rights because you know you're not really meant to be doing it, and you're trying to, as opposed, like I said, filming.
And why would that be a problem?
Why would it be a problem?
Yes.
Because it's a military establishment
Yeah.
and there's like a high security level there.
And
What do you mean and?
has a military base in England, Wales, or Scotland ever been attacked?
Yes.
When?
Like Kent,
Recently?
like those IRA bombs all over the place.
Yeah,
obviously showing your age.
during the IRA. Yeah.
There's a soldier killed in Northern Ireland at a military, which is Britain.
That's what I'm on about, Northern Ireland. Yeah, yeah.
That's Britain.
But has there ever been
Mazarin
a military
Barracks.
site ever attacked in England or Wales?
Yeah,
Can you name an example?
yeah, Dover.
When was this?
In Deal in Kent, the Royal Marines band camp got attacked.
Yeah, when did that happen?
94, 95.
Back during the Troubles. We're not currently in that state.
Troubles.
In Northern Ireland, the Troubles.
No, it was in Kent.
Yeah, the
Dover,
IRA during the IRA attacks.
The
Yes.
IRA is still around now.
Yeah, but there hasn't been an IRA attack in England or Wales in mainland Britain for a very long time
Soldier
now.
who was killed
So
in the street, Lee Rigby,
Lee Rigby.
outside his barracks in London, is hacked to death by a machete
Yikes! When did that happen?
a few years back.
Really?
So you're not really up to date with
But
current affairs, are you?
what's a camera got to do with that?
You said about attacks on military establishments.
Yeah.
I was answering your question.
Okay.
You didn't ask me about a
No,
camera.
no, of course, yeah. But I can understand what you're trying to get at. That's my point. Because when I've been recording police stations and things like that, they'll say exactly the same thing to me. They'll say, "Oh, it's sensitive. You shouldn't be doing it." Well, I can do what I can from public. That's my point.
So what do the police say when you do it then?
Well, sometimes
So you've been challenged by filming police stations by police?
yes.
But why would they do that? If they know the law and you said it's not an offence, why would they challenge you?
Usually, I get a good response, and which I welcome any response. Really, I welcome any interaction.
That's why we're complying with you. We just need to understand what your intent is,
Yeah.
make sure you're not a threat, assess it, and then you can go amongst your day. But we have to challenge it because of the security reasons,
Yeah, that's fine. You know, I'm welcoming you doing that, but
which is fine. That's why I'm not deeming you a threat.
I thank you for that. But what I'm saying is, it does happen. But the more people are aware that photography in public isn't a crime, then the more people will be
when
accepting
you're
it.
specifically looking into a non-public area, and I know you can't help it, you could drive past a bridge, look down into camp. It's a bit of a flaw there. However,
And there's people driving across that bridge all the time with dash cams in their cars.
well, yeah, of course, but
Their
they're
intention's
not
not to
intentionally
film these
filming
buildings.
Yeah,
camp,
but they could still see camps without. You never know. There could be someone with
Go
a
on
dash
Google
cam
Earth
with
and
those
see camp, mate,
means
but
exactly.
it's like, there's not a lot to hide these days with the
You're
internet.
just proving my point, really. That's
But
what
when
we're doing.
someone's lingering around, like covering concealed, that's when alarm bells ring. Not when someone's looking at Google Earth.
But then somebody could go on Google. They could go on Street View and they could see all this anyway.
Yeah, they could, but they're not an imminent threat because they're not there in their vicinity. Whereas you're an individual here looking into the camp gates.
But they're not going to
You know what I
make
mean?
themselves visible, are they? They're going to do it from behind the
someone could be
scenes.
paying you to do that to get intelligence on the camp. Some terrorist organisation could
What
be paying
can
you.
I gain? What can I gain though?
No,
That's the
they'll be
point.
gaining from your photography. Access points, gates, locations where cameras are.
Which you can see all of that on Google as well.
Yeah, but it's nothing like getting up close and personal and getting better data and intelligence, is it?
Not really. You can zoom in on Google Street View.
Well, how up to date's that?
That's
Google doesn't tell
quite
you.
recent.
You could go back now and go, okay, camp's dead, everyone's away. You know, it's quiet. If I attack it, there's not many people to respond. For example, you can't get that information off Google Earth. You only get that from ground, sort of like interaction, intervention.
And technically, but you can see where all the, as you were saying about the access points, you can see all that on Google anyway.
Yeah, not on
Google
about that.
Street View.
On about what's going on at that specific point.
Things are happening all the time. There's always something going on. I don't really see what you're getting at there, to be honest.
Because you could like relay now and go, okay, it's quiet. Now's a good time to attack. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah, see, that's to me that just sounds like paranoia.
Huh?
To me, that just sounds like paranoia, to be honest.
It's not paranoia, it's security. Is it paranoia that we've got gates up and cameras? Is that paranoia? That's just what we do, mate.
It's secure then, isn't it? That's what I mean. There's nothing to worry about if it's secure.
It's secure, but
That's
there's
what I'm
other threats than just physical threats. There's cyber threats when the sort of photography comes into it.
Well, that means somebody could do it just going on the internet. They could spend 5 minutes on the internet.
Yeah, but
and
like
then-
I said, you can do that on the internet, but it's only as good as when the photo is uploaded. Like gathering data, you go off and do it. No soldiers before they plan an attack. Just look at you go out and get the information, the atmospherics, what's going on around the time. Do you know what I mean? You don't just sort of like look at photos. Things change. don't they?
You could just look at imagery, and then you could get that from what you see online anyway. What Google shared, all the satellite imagery and everything. when they've recently updated the satellite imagery, they've 2022 or 2021 satellite imagery, and then that's gone and been shared on there. So you can gain everything from that, can't you? That's what I mean.
Anyway, mate, look, you do what you got to do. Just be aware you will get challenged if you're going around taking photos.
Yeah, that's fine. I welcome interactions, as I said.
Just be prepared to be like challenged. Make sure, you know, obviously you give us concise answers, which is fine. But you know, I'm not content that what you're doing is legal.
Well, I'm telling you, it is. I've researched this.
Where did you get your information from?
From legislation.gov.uk.
So I've read a policy, because we had another guy before where it said it is an offence to film into military camps and take photos.
If you're part of the military and you've signed the Official Secrets Act, yes. But I haven't signed that. I haven't signed the Official Secrets Act, which means I'm not bound by those regulations.
You can take as many photos as you want. It's your home, isn't it? I'm on about the general public filming inside military.
Yeah, we're allowed to do that.
Huh?
We're allowed to do that from a public place.
No, but you're not filming inside a public place.
Yeah, you can film anything your eyes can see from public. Obviously, if you're in a street, the buildings there, they're not public, are they? They're not. Those buildings aren't public. They're not public land. You're filming towards
an anomaly. Like you can film
buildings.
anything in public, but you're filming into something that's not public. So that's where.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. If you can film
anything,
you can film anything your eyes can see from a public place.
I'm not.
There is all this guidelines online. You might want to do some research on that.
I've done research. I know we've got procedures in place telling us that people filming into this camp.
Yeah, that's what you might have been told, but that's obviously.
I've read it.
Yeah, that's just policy. It's not law. I'm not bound by policy.
It's the law. It's a criminal offence,
It's
which
not
is
a
a law,
criminal
not a policy. A policy is a guideline.
What law then? What section? What act?
It's written on that board actually.
Yes, Official Secrets Act. Yeah, Official Secrets Act. Yeah.
1917.
I haven't signed the Official Secrets Act, as I've told you.
What? So you're allowed to break it then?
I'm not. It's only people who have signed the Official Secrets Act that are bound by the Official Secrets Act.
No, it applies to any UK civilian, any law-abiding civilian. That's like saying I've not got a driving licence, so I can get a car and speed. No one's allowed to do.
Look it up. It's all online. Go on legislation.gov.uk. So all that information's on
I
there.
can call the police if you want, and they can deal with it.
I've explained to you what I'm doing.
Yeah, but maybe.
I've explained to you what I'm doing. If that's not good enough for you, I don't know what is.
Yeah, but if you're not doing anything wrong, you've not got anything to worry about, have you?
Not really, no.
So what? So if I ring the police and come down, you
crack on.
Yeah?
Crack on. That's what you want. If you want to waste their time, crack on.
It's not my time, is it?
No, but you're wasting their time. You're wasting their time. Someone doing a lawful activity.
Huh?
All I'm doing is saying 5 minutes, just look it up and you'll find out that what I'm doing is lawful. Or I can show you right now.
Joking, bro.
Oh, once I just had a missed call from someone.
It's just wasting their time now, that's all I'm going to say. All I'm telling you is that I'm doing a lawful activity. I'm making a video in the interest of the public, and it's a lawful activity.
Specifically military camps and police stations and secure sort of environments, that's what we're getting at.
Are you not aware of there's been, I know it's probably not gone around the military, but there are memos out there, and the National Police Chiefs Council have released a memo that they've circulated around the territorial police forces in the country. I know they won't have circulated back to the military, but the military should be getting more aware of this by now, to be fair, because the Ministry of Defence Police are aware of this as well. They're aware of what I'm doing. They've seen the videos. There's videos on YouTube everywhere. There's like thousands of videos on YouTube doing this sort of thing now. I mean, surely you must have stumbled across one or two of them, at least.
So taking photographs of military installations, blah blah blah, ships, equipment is not prohibited.
It's not prohibited.
You may not take photographs of Crown properties.
If you can show me a law which says I can't do it, then I will stop. But obviously,
Well, you said you know that you can.
Yeah.
So that's
I've
just
looked it up,
contradicted your. You
but
said you already know you
there's
can.
nothing that says from what I've read. There's nothing that says. I've looked up on legislation.gov.uk the law, and I've seen nothing that prevents me from doing this.
I'm going to
From
ring.
what
I'm not
I've
gonna ring the
read-
police. I'm going to ring someone else.
Who are you going to ring?
Someone at work.
Ghostbusters.
No, I was going to ring a guy from here because he'll know because he knows everything.
Okay, yeah. Is he that clever? Is he?
No, he's just in charge, so he knows the policies.
All right. Policies, yeah, as you said.
So you're right.
All right.
Just need to apply to something.
Have you filmed the camp before, have you?
Ah, yes. Well, yeah, this was when it was darker though, so I couldn't see as much. You can see a lot more in the day. You got the bridge in the background as well. It's quite a nice spot to take photos as well. So.
Why do you like see the need of recording all the entry points and the cameras and stuff?
I wasn't pointing my camera at the cameras. I was just recording like the signs and everything like that, and the gatehouse. It's just interesting to see. So, plus, you know, it looks, especially where you got Army Apprentices College there. That looks really cool. That does with the Beachley Gate. I like that. That's interesting to photograph. I mean, I don't see why there's so much controversy. There's so much of an issue with filming military sites.
It's just strange. It's just abnormal.
It might be to you.
No, I think to the majority of people it's a bit abnormal.
I don't think so, really.
Well, that's your opinion and you're entitled to it, which I am mine as well.
Yeah.
So we just
you're
go from
entitled
that
to your opinion, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. You're entitled
I
to
can't hear me.
You're entitled to your opinion as well.
Cheers,
But
appreciate it.
you're welcome. I'm going to show you.
Show me your YouTube.
It's on my hat there.
What's it? What is it? What's that stand for? Just 3 letters.
Oh, it'll come up on YouTube if you look it up.
Can't you just tell me?
That defeats the purpose of what I'm doing. We don't like to give out any sort of details, but you'll see it when it goes up on YouTube. That's my point. Give away little subtle giveaways, and if you can work it out, then you know that's all part of the game. Yeah, that's all part of the fun. But
Part of the game. So what?
well, have you ever heard of auditing?
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Or in your own free time?
Yeah, in my free time. I work as well, but I just go around in my free time. I go around auditing. It might not be for everyone, but it's expressing my right to film. And why I started doing it in the first place is because of me filming in the past. Like I was filming trains, and I had them literally coming down on me like a bunch of wild animals, just for taking photos of the trains at my local station. Taking photos of the trains. I had security coming down, trying to put hands on me and stuff like that. And trying to say, you're not allowed to record, it's illegal to record on the train station and stuff like that, it's private property. And
What train station was that?
it's just in Wales. So they were coming down on me, and and then I came across videos of people defending their right to film, and I'm like, well, I need to get on board with this, because I need to defend my right. I need to stand up to these people who are suppressing my rights to film in public, film train stations. There's actually guidelines stated on Network Rail's website about amateur filmmakers and people who are just filming for matters of public interest, and yet they just seem to disregard the actual bylaws and the guidelines that have been put on their own website. They don't seem to be aware of their own policies. So that's the thing. If you're on private property, you can be removed, and there are certain policies and bylaws in place. Like the railways have got bylaws. So, if you don't follow those bylaws, you could be removed from the property, which I'm aware of that. And in some situations, like military lands, bylaws under the Military Lands Act, which they're displayed online, or they're displayed on a sign outside the site, and they show all the bylaws which the military site's subject to. And you could either get a fine or you get removed from that area if you're breaching those bylaws. Usually with military lands you get a fine. Whether that's a small fine for repeated offences, it's a larger fine. But as far as I'm aware, I've looked it up, Beachley isn't subject to any of the military lands bylaws either. So
Yeah, no dramas, mate.
no.
You do your research, innit?
Exactly, yeah.
You can crack on anyway.
Oh, thank you, yeah. I mean, you appreciate what I'm doing, don't you? So
No, I find it a bit creepy, mate, to be honest.
that's your own opinion.
There you go.
Yeah, you're entitled to it. All right, have a lovely day. Take care. Thank you very much. So, yeah. So yeah, we're still recording Beachley. Said they're going to phone the police, so we're just going to have a little wander down by the, have a little sit down by the sea, about by the River Severn. Have a little chill on the coast, and then we're going to make our move then, I think, guys. But yeah, unless the police turn up, which is a possibility. Which the one army gentleman said he was going to phone the police. Like, you can't really. He was more difficult to reason with than his colleague. His colleague was more friendly, the army sergeant there. I think was he a corporal? I think that was a corporal badge he had on. I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure on the army badges. It looked like a corporal badge. I need to get more up to date on the army ranks. I'm aware of the police ranks, but I need to get more up to date on army rankings and things like that. I think he was a corporal. So yeah, they don't really like, army don't really like to identify, but as I say, guys, this is Beachley Barracks. We'll pick it up if anything else happens. We've got the Old Ferry Business Centre here, which used to be a pub. It was shut down quite a while ago, which is a shame. And we got the Severn Bridge right by there. So good place to end it, guys. We'll see you all very soon.